Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your science lesson with Mr. Browning. Let's look at today's learning target. We will create an ecosystem poster showing the carbon cycle for how matter and energy move throughout the ecosystem in Canva whiteboard. The success criteria for this lesson is 1. Create an ecosystem with examples of biotic and abiotic matter. Remember that is the living and non-living parts of an ecosystem. 2. Create carbon cycle poster in Canva and use rubric to complete your carbon cycle poster. 3. Upload and share your carbon cycle project on Padlet and comment on 3 other student projects. So here we go. Here's a little warm up. I have all the parts of the carbon cycle, but I've taken away the words. You have a word bank on the bottom. So please pause the video now and try to fill in all the white boxes. Okay, let's check our word fill here. So on the top, we're going to go from top to bottom, left to right. So on the top, we should remember abiotic matter is all the non-living things in ecosystem in the air. So that's why it's on the top. All right, moving over to the top left here. How carbon gets into living matter. If you remember from chapter 1, that is photosynthesis. And now, what's this below? What other matter do we have? We have biotic matter. And remember, that's all the living parts or the things that were living in an ecosystem. All right, so moving to the middle, how carbon gets back into the air. Remember, this was from chapter 2, cellular respiration. And yeah, feel free to say the words out loud at home. And on the bottom, we have dead matter. So you can see the arrows going down. When something dies, it turns into dead matter. And now to the yellow box, we have decomposers. So remember, you see an arrow going from dead matter to the yellow box. That's representing decomposers eating the dead matter, breaking it down. And last, we have burning fossil fuels. So remember, carbon can also get back into the ecosystem directly by burning fossil fuels. Okay, so let's move on to our project directions. So before we start a project, I would like you to take a few minutes to look at the 2 pictures on the left and the right. So the left, you should remember, this is from a reading from our previous lesson, and the right is a poster. So pause the video and take time to compare the 2. Okay, so hopefully you realize the left side has the left and right. They have all the same labels, arrows, but you can see the right side has a lot more details, whereas the left side just tells you what everything is in the boxes, but there's no pictures. It's not really the best visual. So today's lesson, you'll be making your own carbon cycle poster, and hopefully that will help you better understand by explaining it and having your own examples that you can pick in Canva. Let's move on. So here are the steps for today's lesson. 1, go to Schoology and log into Canva. Use Whiteboard to make posters. So I'm saying Whiteboard because I feel like this is a big open working space. So you're free to make your poster project as big or as simple as you want it to. So you have plenty of space in Whiteboard. 2, add image elements of all the parts of the ecosystem. Don't forget that's everything is abiotic and biotic. 3, label all the different processes by adding text in Canva. So you can see I have an unfinished product here in the top left. So you can see going from the abiotic, I have a picture representing CO2. There's an arrow going down, and next to that arrow it says photosynthesis. So that's representing how carbon moves from abiotic to biotic. And then you can see the example before goes into more detail. But remember, you will make this your own. So it's up to you what pictures you want to add to represent all the different parts. But just make sure, moving on, next point, to add arrows showing how the carbon's how the carbon is moving. So remember, the way the arrow pointed is very important because you need to show where it's going from what point in the carbon cycle. 5, get creative. You can add videos and GIFs in Canva. And 6, add a screenshot of carbon cycle in the box below. That'll be in OneNote, and I'll link that later in today's lesson. And 6, upload link to Padlet. The link will be on the next page, and I'll be explaining how to link that to from Canva. Okay, so here is an example when you finish your project. When you are ready to share, there'll be a share button in the top right, and then you'll see these two chain links together. It'll say public view link. Make sure it's shared publicly. That way everybody in class can see your link. And I'm going to click onto the Padlet link so you can see what that will look like. Yeah, first let's go over the rubric. So take time, pause the video, and you'll see how you are going to be graded on your Canva project. So a perfect project will be a total of 16 points. So 4 points for part 1. If you have all parts of your ecosystem, you get 4 points for that. 2, processes of carbon cycle. Make sure all processes are correctly labeled and the processes are listed there. 3, like I said with arrows, make sure the arrows are clearly and accurately placed. And 4, I am grading you on creativity and effort. I want to see that you took some time, thought about the different pictures to represent all the parts of the carbon cycle. All right, so let's go back. Oh, so here's a Padlet link. So I'm going to click the link, and this will also give us guides for how to comment. So you can see the rubric is also linked here. So while you're working on the poster, please look at the rubric. And here's my post. I have my example to get started, but it's not complete. I want you to take time to make sure you complete it on your own. And then please, later after you upload, click on other students' links and leave a comment on how they did. Was there anything unique that they added or surprised you? Try to compare it to your own carbon cycle. Okay. So with that said, everybody, please be careful to follow the steps and make sure you're looking at the rubric to make sure you're not missing any points or parts for this project. Look forward to seeing everybody's work in class. Thank you.